Welcome back to Tokyo on Fire. We're frequently asked why we came up with this name Tokyo on Fire. The fact is that Tokyo and Japan in general has been defined by fire throughout its history. In fact, just this week there was a remarkable fire in Shinjuku in the district called Golden Gai. Michael, you don't frequent Golden Gai very often, but you understand the importance, and the fact that a fire occurred there is rather big news.
It's big news, even though it's a very tiny space, because it has become such a tourist attraction. Mm-hmm. It's a small maze of very basically shacks that have retained something of the aura of the drinking areas that existed in the 1950s and 1960s.
It's basically a throwback neighborhood with the whole area of Shinjuku before it became the home of all of these high-rises. It basically was just kind of a backwater.
That's right, and this was preserved by the people there and is now quite trendy to go there. Mm-hmm. There are lots of little bars in the region, and it's very now, according to what tour guides are, it's a big place to go to because it has such an atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like underground Atlanta, right, where the city has grown up over it, but there are little pockets of where the old town exists.
There are all kinds of places in the world, but this one was particular in that it looks shabby. Mm-hmm. And the construction is shoddy, and it does look like a fire trap.
A little rat warren.
And right? Also the roads are too narrow to accept any kind of fire equipment, so whatever happens there, mm-hmm. and something did happen, can turn into a catastrophic fire with large losses of life. We were very lucky, is the message that has come out. There was one woman who suffered smoke inhalation, but otherwise, what could have been an absolute deadly inferno, mm-hmm. actually they were able to get in control of it, and while the Golden Gai has been damaged, it's going to keep going and going on as a tourist attraction.
Right.
But the question is, for how long?
Mm-hmm. This area of Golden Gai, it's called Golden Gai now, but there's a whole area around Shinjuku that still retains a lot of the flavor of, a long time before Japan really began to emerge. I mean, Shinjuku was the area of prostitution. It was a red light district, a lot of gambling.
And a lot of gangsters.
A lot of gangsters. And even today, there are a lot of gangsters.
And it's part of Kabukicho,
right.
which is notorious for its gangsters and for mm-hmm. its sex industry. But still, this was a rather prosaic, rather, it's an old-style drinking area. Mm-hmm. And so little of Tokyo, it retains the flavor of even the 1960s, that the loss of this it's quite controversial. Mm-hmm. Now, we have similar areas in places like Shimokitazawa or in Koenji,
right.
and all of them are recognized as incredibly dangerous fire traps, mm-hmm. that if there's a major earthquake, if there is some kind of conflagration, these things will go up in flames and there will be significant losses of life. What to do about these areas when they're so charming and yet so dangerous is one of the major issues.
The fire apparently was caused by an arsonist, just an old vagrant who started the fire, got away, and probably 8 houses caught on fire as a result. The wind whipped up, and even with the fire hoses pulled down the alleys, there's really not very much you can do there.
There's really not much they can do, and this is true for all of these charming mm-hmm. fire traps, as you could refer to them. So Tokyo on Fire, yeah, a lot of people have told us, that's really a tasteless name. And I said, yeah, but fire is the flowers of Tokyo,
right.
The flowers of Edo, that would used to be called. Mm-hmm. Fire as a rejuvenating and also a destructive force. It's not a bad title for us.
Please stay tuned.